Good evening. I would like to call to order the October 28th, 2025 meeting of the City of West Palm Beach Historic Preservation Board. Can we please begin with a roll call?
Peggy Marker.
Present.
Kyle Waters.
Present.
Caleb R.W. Locks.
Present.
James Murphy.
Here.
Jeffrey Sheldon.
Here.
Gerald Buxbaum.
Here.
And Gabriel Jaroslavsky.
Here.
Let the record reflect that Kristen Kellogg is not present.
Thank you. We will now move on the approval of tonight's agenda. Does staff have any changes to tonight's agenda as presented?
Thank you, Mr. Chair. The only item, and it is indicated in your packets, item 8.1, 229 Plymouth Road, that will be deferred to the next meeting.
Perfect, thank you. Any changes by the board?
No.
Can we have a motion to approve it with the change described?
Approved.
Can I have a second?
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Agenda approved. Now we move on to approval of the meeting minutes from the September 30th, 2025 meeting. Any changes to the minutes as presented in the packet? Seeing none, may I have a motion to approve?
Approved.
Second.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Minutes approved. So we now move on to the report of the City Historic Preservation Planner.
No items to report, Mr. Chair. I will say that we do have the vote at the end of tonight's meeting, just to recall, or just to refresh you, on the combination November-December meeting. We do have a lot of applicants kind of anxious to know if that's going to take place, so we'll do that at the end of the meeting. But that's it. Thank you.
Perfect. Thank you. So we now move on to remarks by the chairperson. The matters before us this evening are quasi-judicial in nature, which means we base our decisions on competent, substantial evidence that comes before us. We ask that you please keep this in mind when making comments. For each of the cases in tonight's agenda, the applicant will have 10 minutes to present. 15 minutes will be allotted for cases involving a demolition. Following the applicant's presentation, staff will present. We will then open the floor to public comment, which will be limited to 3 minutes per person. If you are planning to speak during public comment, please be sure to fill out the comment card that you can find in the foyer and turn it to our board secretary. After public comment, the applicant is allowed a rebuttal, which will then be followed by executive session where we will render our decision. To lead into this, we need to let you know if we had any conversations outside of this meeting, so we now move on to the declaration of ex parte communications.
As to the matter before the Commission, as of tonight's meeting, October 28th, 2025, I have not had ex parte communications, received written communications, conducted an investigation, made a site visit, nor received expert opinions. I request that these disclosures and all written communications be made part of the record.
All right. As to item 25-70, I will recuse myself from this project, from this item due to involvement on the project. As to all other matters on tonight's agenda, I have not had ex parte communication, have not received written communication, have not conducted an investigation, have not made a site visit, nor have I received expert opinions. I request that these disclosures and all written communications be made part of the record.
As to all matters on tonight's October 28th, 2025 Historic Preservation Board meeting, I, James Murphy, have not had ex parte communications. I have not received written communications. I have not conducted an investigation. I have not made a site visit. I have not received expert opinions. I request that these disclosures and all written communications be made part of the record.
As to all matters in tonight's agenda, I gave Jaslawski, discuss all of them with staff, but I can make my decision based on the evidence presented. Except for that meeting, I had not had ex parte communications, have not received written communications, have not conducted an investigation, have not made a site visit, have not received expert opinions. I request that these disclosures and all written communications be made part of the record.
As to item 7.1 on the agenda, this is a repeat of last hearing, but since this case was continued to this hearing, I have spoken with the owner of the property about the property, not specifically about this case, but I can make my decisions based on the evidence presented. As to all other items on tonight's agenda, I have not had ex parte communications. I have not received written communications. I have not conducted an investigation. I have not made a site visit, and I have not received expert opinions. I request that these disclosures and all written communications be made a part of the record.
As to all matters on tonight's agenda, I, Kyle Waters, have not had ex parte communications. I have not received written communications. I have not conducted an investigation. I have not made a site visit. I have not received expert opinions. I request that these disclosures and all written communications be made part of the record. Thank you.
As to all matters on tonight's agenda, I, Peggy Marker, have not had ex parte communications, have not received written communications, have not conducted an investigation, have not made a site visit, and have not received expert opinions. I request that these disclosures and all written communications be made part of the record.
Thank you. We now move on to the swearing of the speakers. If you plan on speaking on today's hearing, please rise and raise your right hand to be sworn in.
Ma'am, you did a comment card? Yeah, you did. Yep. Thank you. Do you swear or affirm that the testimony you're about to give is the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth? Thank you.
I also want to remind the speakers who are presenting or applicants that you have 10 minutes unless there's a demolition involved, and then you have 15 minutes.
Thank you. We have a number of consent cases on tonight's agenda. So I don't know if anybody wants to discuss them, or can I please have a motion to approve them?
If there's no discussion, I motion to approve all items on the consent agenda.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. So if you are here for case number 25-72 in 3115 Washington Road, or 95-73 2027 in Graymont Drive, 25-76 237 Monroe Drive, and 25-77 in 230 Lytton Court, your case is approved. Okay. So we have somebody in the public that will wish to speak in one of these consent cases. So can we allow them to speak? One of the consent cases that we are approving. So.
Well, they can't, we're supposed to allow public speaking.
Yeah.
So there's nothing, it's already been approved, but.
Well, we didn't vote yet.
Oh, you didn't vote yet?
Yeah.
All right, well, that person has a right to speak.
Yeah. So, Alan Schatt, if you would like to speak, you can come.
Have all the procedures, or would you like me to start with this?
Yeah, you can come to the podium and.
Oh, it's not on, your item's not on consent.
No, my name's 3015 Washington.
Right, no, they're not, they don't want to speak on consent.
Oh.
That's the next item.
Oh, so you are not here to speak on any of the consent cases?
No, on 3015.
Okay.
I don't have the.
Okay, so we misunderstood. Thank you. Okay, so can I have a motion to approve again the consent cases? Well, we already.
Yes.
Okay, so we are done with the consent cases.
Correct.
So now We start with the continue item 25-58, 3015 Washington Road. Can we have the applicant presentation or?
Staff is going to put on their presentation as they do first. Staff is going to tell you, and they told me, that the architect for this matter decided not to show up because they had a disagreement with staff about the staff report. But my opinion as an attorney is they obviously received notice of this hearing, and if they wanted to speak to the issue, they should have come and speak to the issue. We have people here, other people who want to speak to it, so it's up to the board what you want to do. I just wanted to provide that information.
Okay, perfect, thank you. So we will have the staff presentation in this case.
Yes, Ann Volsi for the record, Planner, Development Services. This is a variance request at 3015 Washington Road, case number 25-58. So this property, and I'll go with more of the background information, I believe, after I do the presentation for the variance request. So this is at 3015 Washington Road. It is a new structure in Prospect / Southland Park Historic District. The subject property is 0.19 acres. It's in single-family, high-density residential context 3, SF14C3, and the surrounding uses are all residential historic. The request is for a variance from section 94-82B2E2 of the ZLDRs for the construction of a previously approved single-family residence to encroach within the cumulative side yard setback. The cumulative requirement per the code is 20 feet. The applicant is providing 5 feet to the south, 10.85 feet to the north, for a total of 15.85 feet. And the variance request is for 4.15 feet applied towards the north side of the property. Next, we have a survey, which is a survey of the site when it was vacant, which was what was submitted to the Historic Preservation Board at the time of the meeting in 2016. Next, we have the approved site plan, which shows the encroachment on the north side at 10.85, and the south side is at setback at 5 feet. So in red here, you see the encroachment that I was talking about, where the structure encroaches the 4 feet and 15 into it. And next, I just have the approved elevations as they were submitted in the building permit. And staff is recommending approval of this request based on the finding that it meets the variance standards found in section 94-38D6 of the West Palm Beach Zoning and Land Development Regulations. And the condition is that the variance shall only apply to the proposed new construction. So as for the background, so this application came in after the approval because the permit had already been, so they went to HPB in 2016 as stated in the staff report. It also got approval at the building permit level in 2024. The permit is issued. We had a call-in from the neighbor on the south end requesting that we either go back or look into the plans because they felt that there was an encroachment. So when staff looked into the plans, we realized that there was, that we had missed the 20-foot cumulative setback, or there was a setback encroachment happening within the property by this new structure. So we reached out to the applicant, and the applicant said we can go ahead with the submittal. So as a courtesy, staff did do the application with all of the documents that had been previously submitted just to alleviate some of that stress from the applicant, because at this point, they've already gotten the HPB approval and their building permits approved. And the neighbor to the south had requested more information and to be kept in the loop with what's going on with this project moving forward, since they were parties who were concerned about this request. And that pretty much concludes staff's presentation.
Okay, thank you. Questions to staff?
I have a question for staff.
Yes.
If this had come in as a clean application, would staff be supporting the variance request?
So they've used, it depends, because there are a few, the only site constraint that currently exists is the proposed driveway because in the rear they have a garage structure, and the access they are granting it would be towards that existing curb cut, and that would allow them to have that 11-foot setback in order to do
A driveway in the rear,
towards the rear of the property.
but it's all new construction on a vacant site, in theory.
Yes, so they have, they're required to have
Yep.
5 feet and then 20 total.
Got it.
So, and I believe at the meeting in 2016, they were told to keep the same elevation for the structure. So, which they kept, but the addition that they had made essentially pushed the building out more towards the property that is on the south side. But for new construction, I believe if a thorough review of the zoning had been done, staff would have asked for that. Otherwise, we would have requested for a variance application simultaneously, which we did not do.
So, and this might be just to double check with the applicant, because I basically, from my understanding, is that this house is a replication of the original house that was demolished. And so basically was built back what was there.
Just
And
on the front,
Just on the front.
yes. Everything else
Does
was
that
added.
mean, so did the footprint from the original house move?
It increased.
To the east and to the north and the south?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, to the
You
south.
will have your opportunity.
It increased to the
It
south.
increased to the south.
Correct. Let me go back to.
So the north setback was original.
Yes,
And then the one story at the bottom is the encroachment.
yes. So in the bottom, we have 3. In the middle, there's a court, like an elevated second story.
Right.
And here, I can't, let me see if I can exit out of it. Follow the cursor here. So this is a new portion. This is a new terrace, or roof terrace, and this. So all of this was new.
So technically, the variant, so the north, so you have highlighted in red the north setback, but wouldn't it be the south setback that wouldn't meet that would have caused this problem?
So per section 94-82, based on the lot size of 8,450 square feet, they can have a 5-foot setback.
And that's that's on one side,
And cumulative,
20.
20.
And then and it's not really shown here, what's the setback right now? Do we know?
It's what is in the table, I believe that.
Yes,
The-
so
So
they
the
have
south side
5,
is 5 feet, and the north side,
is 10.85.
and that's 10.85 of the primary structure.
Yes. Where it's required to be a total of 20, so it would have been 5 and 15.
And the 10.5 is exactly where it was.
Yes,
And then the 5, okay, now, so I see, now I understand.
So the south side was originally 15 feet or more.
right, right.
Or like if this was a new construction, the south side should have been like
They could do 10 and
9.15,
10,
yeah,
they
yeah.
could do whichever
been
configuration.
9.15,
Minimum
yeah.
5, cumulative 20.
What I'm saying, so if they were to hold the original north setback, which was the intention of the approval, they would have had to push, they would have had to have a 9.15 setback on the south side. Okay.
And I do want to clarify, it's currently sitting the way it is right now, after city planning, zoning, permits issued, they've built. And at
Yes.
this point, they've said, you've done everything appropriate to this point, but we have an issue now because.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes,
Thank you.
and within the staff report, we have the form board survey, which is pretty much done after the fact on the field.
Right.
Which doesn't necessarily come to planning, but it goes through the building department.
Got it.
So once we had that conversation with the applicant, he did provide, this is where we're at, even the elevation certificate, which is also included, which shows the walls going up, so on and so forth, which is
And,
included in there.
And structure is currently built already?
Yes.
Well, it's
So-
being built.
So
No, structure's already up. Walls are up.
It's up.
Oh, also.
Walls are up, yeah.
this is an after-the-fact variance.
Yeah.
As
I wanted to ask you, when you mentioned before that the applicant was not in agreement with the staff recommendation, what they are not?
It wasn't that he wasn't in agreement with the staff recommendation. It was that he wasn't in agreement with a portion of the staff report. That's what I want to mention, what I've told staff, and what I will tell the board is that this variance needs to be considered separate from the fact that they've already built this structure. It needs to be evaluated on the variance criteria. We can't, we cannot give them a break because the building's already built. I just wanted to make that abundantly clear on the record. Ann, do you want to tell him what portion of the staff report he had an issue with?
Yes, so he had an issue with the portion where I stated that it was not a thorough review of the zoning and land development regulations.
Because
So-
he assumed that
Because
it was thorough.
missed. So
But
he,
it was a missed.
yes. That he had gone through the proper process of getting it approved.
But he's
and-
not here to tell us that, so we don't know, because he,
So now can you expand on what Caleb just said, that because I don't think that none of us was here in 2016. So I want to know more about the background of this case. So what happened? This was a contributing structure?
Correct. It was a contributing structure. They were allowed to demolish it, and it was, so I'm not sure if you remember, they came a few months ago for the rear garage to be demolished. And
Yeah.
Kristen, our chair, said, I remember this case, and by neglect, they allowed for the main house to be demolished, but they had to keep the one in the rear. So at this point, that's why we're back. Yeah. So this structure had been contributing, but it was allowed to be demolished, and they did a new one.
Was allowed to be demolished because it was unsafe, and they had a...
By neglect, they did not keep it. There was no good upkeep of it, so it was determined that it could be demolished. It was not salvageable.
In the garage, if that is demolished, would that rectify this variance, or will we still have an issue regardless?
No, the garage came in as a request, and it was denied ultimately. So the garage
I'm
has
just
to
curious.
stay.
No, because it's an accessory structure,
Okay.
so it has
It's
independent
independent.
setbacks.
Yeah, the violation is on the setbacks of the main structure.
And I believe, Kyle, you're mentioning it because I mentioned the driveway portion, correct?
All right, thank you. Any other question to staff?
And sorry, what was the threshold for the setbacks, the square footage setbacks?
Oh, okay.
Like how big does the lot, when does it turn into from 15 to 20 feet cumulative?
So 7,499.
And this?
And this is 8,450. So from
1,000
7,500 to 9,999, it's 20 feet. And if it's a 10,000 square foot lot and over, it's 25.
And this was designed by an architect, right?
Yes,
Okay, so ultimately, the architect also bears some responsibility for not checking the setbacks, right?
So basically, everybody kind of missed it.
yes.
All right. No more questions to staff? Can we go now to public comment? So I think that you would like to speak on this case. Please say your name, address, and the mic, please.
My name is Alan Schutt. I live at 3019 Washington, which is a property just south. My apologies for my little outburst earlier. My wife and I are a little disturbed over the whole process. When we saw this house going up, we first started reaching out to the city in April, and I have all these email communications. We sent multiple communications asking for plans, asking for information. We never received any responses. We saw in August, I finally got hold of somebody. They sent an inspector out, and they said, yes, there's seems to be something amiss. I heard nothing more. A flyer was posted, or was put in our mailbox in September about a hearing. That strangely, the flyer said nothing about the variance itself. It's almost as if somebody's trying to hide what's going on. I sent multiple email requests asking for more information before the hearing, never received a response. I finally went into the office, the Planning Commission office, several days before, and I got some information, so I became clear at the time the September variance was actually to seek the 10 feet from my south side property. They were seeking a variance of 10 feet, or down to 5 feet then, and not seeking the variance on the north side. They've since revised this, but it doesn't change the fact this is a cumulative variance. The only reason they need the variance is because of the addition on the south side, which looms over my house. There is no other property on Flagler, Washington, which has a 5-foot setback. I understand this is allowed, but they still have to meet the cumulative setback. They're building a house too big. You've got a developer trying to get more square footage, and it's just not right. It's taking value from us. And the worst part is, to me and my wife, we look at the application, and there's absolutely nothing that makes sense on the criteria. It's the only reason we get it, the house is built, or a lot of the structure is built, but if I go through the criteria, and I'd love to have the applicant explain tonight, please defend this criteria. I can't understand what's special about it. When you look down at all these criteria that must be met, you've got the special conditions and circumstances that did not result from the actual applicant. The only reason they're seeking a variance is by building this extension towards my property. The granting and variance will not confer on the applicant any special privilege denied to other lands or buildings? Absolutely it will. The special conditions and circumstances exist which are peculiar to the land, structure, or building. The only thing that exists is they already built the project, and back in 2016, they didn't get a variance. And they're professionals. They know they need a variance. It doesn't relieve them of that obligation to go and say, we didn't get a variance and we're building. I'm just shocked. And I could go on through the criteria, but I don't know if tonight we can have them explain the criteria, because there's really no explanation how they met this criteria. It just says it complies. I could go through all the criteria, and there's nothing rational in there to me. I know time is short, so I've summarized a lot of these thoughts, but my last comment is we rely on the city to protect the values of our house. Like I said, there was no other property with a 5-foot setback. How could we allow them to fine, they do have the right, due to the size of their lot, to have a 5-foot setback, but they can't then go ask for the variance on the other side of the property to have a bigger property. It impacts our value. We've got a well-connected, well-connected developer, influential developer who's transferring value from my property to my neighbor.
You had 3 minutes and you've gone well
Okay.
over. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. Is there anybody else in the public that will wish to speak on this case? Okay, seeing none, we move on to executive session.
I'm sorry, I have another question for staff.
Sure.
So, I'm sorry.
No, it's
I'm
okay.
trying to forget the history of the site.
Yes.
Your team meets with an architect tomorrow to build a house on this vacant site. You would tell them the setback requirements are a cumulative setback. Now you would tell them the cumulative setback is 20 feet, of which you can divide it in any manner you see fit, provided that one side is no less than 5 feet.
Correct.
Correct?
Yes.
So, and the other side would have to be 15 feet. How you choose to divide that is up to you and your client, right? So, to the neighbor to the south, their side of the setback complies with half of the requirement, that it is at least 5 feet. Furthermore, it's only 1-story portion, if I'm reading the plans correctly. In the 2-story house, the 1-story portion is the closest to the neighbor at 5 feet,
Yes.
right? Okay, great. That's it.
So, and this is an aerial of the existing.
Mm.
And now it's been demoed and they're building up now. So,
Do you have the pictures of existing conditions today
in the staff report,
in the staff report?
yes. And the elevation certificate.
So your question was because, to kind of demonstrate that the south setback is complying, but the north neighbor is the one that is, more impacted because the combination of the two setbacks doesn't comply with the 20 feet.
Right. We're in executive now?
Yes.
Yeah, so, obviously, it would be easier to remedy the situation. It would be easier to demolish a 1-story portion than a 2-story portion. And I'd say, while I'm only one vote, I think historically, my record shows I'm very reluctant to support the variance and to align with staff report on this. I just don't find the justification or the metrics for granting the variance. That said, I really am trying to make it clear to the people sitting there that someone could, if these plans were to be abandoned, someone could build a 2-story portion at 5 feet to your house. And so in that regard, a 1-story portion is you're pretty lucky. And now, there are lots of nonconformances in the city. I think your site might have a nonconforming setback. I don't mean to engage you. I apologize. So the 5-foot setback is in the zoning code because it's probably a result of a built condition in the city, and that's why they justify can be no less than 5 feet. But my thoughts are I can't support it.
You cannot support the variance.
And I can have, kind of the same position, right? If this would have been a new application, I wouldn't support variance because there's no reason for the variance, right, when it's a new construction. Because they have to comply with the current setbacks, right? And the architect should have known the setbacks that he had to abide by and design by that. But I totally agree with your other explanations, and it's a tough decision to make somebody demolish what is already built, although they have the possibility to go to city commission if they are not in agreement.
No, they would not. They would not in this instance. Variances go to circuit court on appeal, not to the city commission.
Okay.
Unlike a COA.
Thank you for the clarification.
I mean, for me, I find the fact that it was like torn down problematic, like because of because it was, what, like neglect. I mean, I feel like we've made a point of trying to salvage everything, so that's problematic for me. And the fact that neither the applicant or the architect are here to state their position and defend that they should be given this variance is a problem for me too. So I'm in alignment with you guys.
Yeah, this project's like a bad penny. It's like always turning. I mean, I kind of agree regarding the applicant. I feel like I want to, well, I mean, I feel like when they came before the garage, I understood their position a lot better than this one. But I can see what, in a certain sense, you know, in a certain sense, the applicant should have picked up on the setbacks, but in the other sense, let's say we were to grant this variance, we're also covering, let's say we're covering for the architect, we're also covering for the city staff. So of whenever this went through, which was 8, 9 years ago, and it should have been picked up then, and I think a lot of this got picked up when there was a turnover for this project from the previous owner of the property. Just based on, like, if this was a new project, not being supportive of it, I think that's just based on that metric alone, I think we can't be supportive of it.
You can.
Cannot. Like,
Yeah.
if it, not ignoring the fact that it's built, like, I think that's how we're being asked to review it anyways.
Yeah, I mean, I really feel horrible for city staff to be in a position. This is the worst scenario that a building permit has been issued. And then I feel bad for a neighbor that they have to play code compliance and call the building department to say this doesn't look right, and have some come out and do a spot measurement survey to see the dimensionality, and puts the burden on residents. And I know that there was a lot of changes going on in the department, but it seemed like there was multiple opportunities to catch this that were unfortunately missed. But I don't think that is a criteria for granting the variance.
Sounds like we're ready for a motion.
Someone is ready for a motion?
I'll try one. I'm going to move that the Historic Preservation Board deny case 2558, a request by Anthony Harrington of Design Methods, Inc., on behalf of Barking Dog LLC for a variance from Section 9482B 2E2 of the City Zoning and Land Development Regulations for the construction of a previously approved new construction. The motion is based upon the testimony presented, along with the application submitted in staff report, which constitutes competent substantial evidence. The board hereby makes findings of fact that not all of the criteria in Article 2, Section 9438D6 of the City of West Palm Beach Zoning and Land Development Regulations have been met.
James, can you tell me at least one which has not been met, please, for the record?
Yeah, I'm going to read all three.
Okay, thank you.
The standards that have not been met include the following. Variance Standard A, peculiar to land, structure, or building. I do not believe that there are special conditions and circumstances that exist that are peculiar to the land, structure, or building involved. B, the actions of the applicant, that there are not special conditions and circumstances that do not result from the applicant. And this is not the minimum variance request that will make possible the reasonable use of the land.
Thank you. We have a second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed?
Nay.
Would you like to express why?
Sure. So I'm looking at the eyes of, it is here, city, as stated before, building departments have issued. They have gone through the proper channels. I don't feel it's a very good look on behalf of owner, builder, developer, architects, et cetera. That is a terrible look to not show here and plead your case. but yet I'm still looking at the sense of, we've gone years with this project. A structure is now built. I did want to comment on, I went back to the garage. That garage is, which is a separate structure, rightfully so, but it's only 4 foot 8 inches from the west neighbor. So to say that you're the only structure that's there 5 feet away is absolutely incorrect. It does go to the west neighbor. So I'm only looking at it in the lens of, here we are, yes, it's had a horrible history, but I have to look at it in a sense of, there's a structure built, they have followed every possible way that they did through city code, et cetera, but here we are. And it is an unfortunate situation, and I'm dissenting feel, and that's where my stance is.
Thank you very much. You're welcome. The case fell, so the variance is denied. So now we move on to new business, case number 25-70, 258 Granada Road. Can we have the applicant's presentation, please?
Good evening. For the record, Kyle Fant, Bartholomew Architects, here with Glenice Martinez, our project architect. Thank you for your time this evening, and thank you to our client homeowners at K-Mines and to Mr. Jeffrey Sheldon for his historic research into the existing home. So we have an existing home in El Cid on 258 Granada Road. I'll quickly go over part 1, existing site analysis, and quickly go through the first few parts and get to our existing and proposed elevations and our perspectives. Excuse me, is there a way I can get the sheets up so I can click sheet by sheet?
Should be if you scroll down. Yeah, and this is what.
Is there a view where I can click sheet by sheet?
Let's see here, table of contents. I don't think so.
There we go.
Okay, this works.
Thank you. So here's our site, Granada Road, faces north. We have an existing 2-floor main home. We have an existing 2-floor accessory structure. The homeowner is looking to mostly renovate the interior of their home. There's a few exterior updates that are being made to the main structure, very minor. The existing 2-story accessory structure is where we're seeing most of the improvements. That's to our rear, that's the pool deck, and the existing accessory structure. Photo of the existing home from Granada. Oh, disappeared. This photo at the bottom right gives you a nice bird's eye of the existing main structure, the existing accessory structure, and you'll note there's an existing roof structure and exterior stairwell that's in the backyard. To my knowledge, we don't have any permits for that structure. Existing conditions, existing street. The home is consistent with most of the homes on the street. History and precedents. We did study Andalusia, Spanish Revival, the El Cid neighborhood, Montecito. Streetscape, it's an existing home consistent with the homes on the street, and the accessory structure is consistent with accessory structures, setbacks, and heights on the street. And I'm breezing through this to get to the important information. Let's go back. So our survey here, you can see there's an existing covered roof area and an existing stairwell. The homeowner is actually looking to remove roofed structures and increase their open space. On the left is the existing, and on the right is the proposed site plan. I'll get to the elevations and renderings, which clearly show that for us. Environment Design Group is the landscape architect for the project. Dustin Mizell did come up with a beautiful landscaping, proposing mostly to the south, which is the back of the structure, updating the pool, new pavers, adding landscape, adding screening to the east and west, and updating the landscape to the north. Existing and proposed floor plans, you can see here on the left, a large roofed structure, exterior stairwell that goes up to the second floor of the accessory structure. And the homeowners are looking to bring that stairwell inside the accessory structure and screen their pool equipment. A few areas that we'll be touching that show what's being addressed on the main home and accessory structure for the historic board tonight. So this is our front elevation. On the top is the existing, and on the bottom is the proposed. You can see it's pretty much exactly as it is today. Some of the balcony at the top left today has been replaced over time. It's a mix of ironwork and aluminum, so we're proposing going back with just a nicer ironwork balcony. This is the proposed front elevation with Dustin Mizell's landscape improvements. So this is the east elevation. On the inside of the structure, we were able to see that a lot of the windows have been replaced or covered over time. They're looking to maintain that structure, adding a small window for a bathroom and proposing to replicate the barley column at the end, just to give a nice visual for the hanging corner here. We have this hanging corner that goes over the air conditioning units. This is the proposed, obviously adding landscaping and trying to screen as much as possible. The rear of the main home, there is currently a covered porch. We are proposing to infill that with plate glass, the plate glass being behind the railing and integrated into the column. This is the proposed rear elevation that's facing south toward the pool deck. We also are proposing slightly raising this head height of the door to align with the existing windows, slightly adjusting the existing covered balcony. So to recap here on the main house, we have our west, which is the same thing as the east, smaller window for a bathroom, and that plate glass. All four elevations of the main house, there's really not much change from what's there today, but we'll go to the accessory structure next. So the accessory structure, I'll bring to your attention first, here on the right of the screen, top right, there's an existing roofed structure, an existing exterior stairwell, and the existing screening for pool equipment, HVAC equipment, etc. We're proposing to remove all of that, provide more open space. The history of this garage is that it was a single-story garage with a shed roof. That single-story garage had 2 garage bays. It then had an addition done on top of it, some applique architecture. A man door was added, a Home Depot-style garage door was added. When our clients purchase the home today, it is mostly a storage building. It's difficult to get a car back there, as you saw that HVAC equipment. So they're proposing converting to a charming pool cabana. So this is facing the pool deck. You can see the existing roof and stairs. The stairwell looks over into the neighbor's yard. You can see the setback is that blue line. We're pretty close to our neighbor's setback. They're proposing to remove that stairwell and provide landscape hedging. These are the proposed elevations of the pool cabana. On the left, you're looking south if you're out the back door of the house toward the pool, opening up the yard for the beautiful landscaping. And on the right is the side of the pool cabana. This is the rear of the property. And this is the side of the property, both of them being updated with stucco and smaller windows. These are the renderings of those two. And they would be screened with landscaping at the property line. So all 4 elevations of the existing accessory structure. I'll quickly go through the sections. Perspectives. So this is the existing front of the home, and this is the proposed. It's a computer-generated rendering, but I hope you can see that the building remains the same. It looks like Dustin has added some nice pots to the balcony, beautiful landscaping over the front door, and some new landscaping, cleaning up a little bit of the sidewalk. This is that existing structure. You can see their backyard is currently almost unusable. Paving, concrete, roof, stairs, and the goal was to continue the backyard with a level grade, have the accessory structure meet today's hurricane and flood code, and open up that backyard and provide a little more privacy to their neighbors. This is the proposed. I believe Dustin Mizell has designed a nice coral stone and brick pavers, a beautiful fountain, so the pool reads more as a fountain in the yard instead of a swimming pool, and the accessory structure, which has the stairs now integrated into the structure instead of outside. So the owner was giving up some of that square footage to clean up the yard. Just our materials, we're matching most of what's there today. We're looking at replicating the existing window styles and sizes. We're looking at updating some of the ironwork to be more consistent with Spanish Revival, matching our roof tiles, matching our doorways, awnings. And thank you for your time today. Appreciate it.
Thank you. Great presentation. Now we are gonna listen to staff.
Good evening. Anthony Mendez, for the record, speaking as the case manager for 258 Granada Road. Our applicant did an exceptional job describing their project. This presentation will primarily entail providing some of that broader context, some specific zoning nuances, and further elaboration on the conditions imposed. So, this property consists of two contributing structures in the El Cid Historic District, both of which were constructed in 1925 in the Mission Revival style. According to the 1990 El Cid survey, both structures were contributing for being excellent examples of Mission Revival style development consistent with the 1920s Florida land boom in West Palm Beach. The El Cid Historic District was locally designated in 1993 and listed in the National Register for Historic Places in 1995. Mission Revival architecture is a subtype of Spanish colonial revival style. This style harkens back to the California vernacular architecture established by Franciscan missionaries. Character-defining features include the stepped or curvilinear parapets, covered entryways, and barrel tile roofing. In light of the fact that all historic properties have to change from time to time, these alterations that are being requested should be historically and architecturally authentic of Mission Revival style, and this property should still read as contributing when looking at these alterations. So there is a previous HPB case with this property, and the COA request was extracted from Frederick Mittner's staff report in 2016. Request was to modify the second floor front-facing pair of windows into a pair of French doors with the Juliet balcony, and that was approved in August 2016. The photographs are presented here on this slide. Applicant's COA request entails the following at the primary structure: some fenestration changes, which are primarily on the west facade, a glass enclosure to create a 62 square foot second-story balcony, and a new 3-foot Juliet balcony, and that's going to be visible towards the front. The existing metal balcony is non-historic and is currently at 3 feet 1 inch. So, COA request for the accessory structure entails the fenestration changes, rear site work improvements as noted by our applicant, the demolition of the existing railing, gate, gazebo, and the wood steps of the accessory structure, and they're all situated towards the rear of the property, and with the conversion of the garage to a pool cabana. So this will entail a reconfigured entry with new garage doors as seen in the colored elevation drawings when compared to what is existing today. So this request does not entail any additions, but there are two specific requests in the applicant's scope of work that do require quantitative compliance with our city's zoning and land development regulations. First is the side setbacks for accessory structures, so they're both have to be 5 feet, but they're legal non-conforming setbacks. The location of mechanical equipment encroaching into that setback, it could encroach up to 4 feet per section 94.305, so they comply with that standard. Second is the request to have the glass enclosure. So as a result of that, that will slightly increase their FAR calculations, since this is on the second floor. The enclosure does constitute as new solid walls, and that sort of nuanced definition is highlighted and presented in this slide. And there's a slight calculation error that was provided from our applicant, and that the 62 square feet, which were not added to that 3,204 square feet, if we were to include that, the proposed square footage would be 3,266 square feet, so that puts them at slightly over their maximum FAR allowable, which is at 50%. But fortunately for staff, we did identify an easy special exception bonus that we could apply here per section 9485. Per letter E, it does state that we can grant an additional 4% of this quantity for the accessory structure if it's approximately at least 300 feet. So for here, it's at least 400, it's approximately 400 square feet, and is both set back at least 10 feet behind the front facade of the principal structure, and the separation between both structures is clearly over 15 feet. As stated here, it is a little bit over 22 feet. So with that special exception bonus, their maximum square footage goes up to 3,375 square feet, and that's clearly over what they are being proposed. So long story short, with staff's help in utilizing a special exception bonus, they do comply with section 9482B4. The surrounding building analysis is provided in the staff report, along with the respective definition that's also in the staff report. 5 surrounding buildings are all of contributing, with special note to number 4, which is not only contributing, but also designed in the mission revival style, is a very pertinent reference point. And in the context for the accessory structure, the primary structure is also a valid reference point for the context of surrounding buildings. So here we have all 5 buildings presented on one slide. And staff finds that this is a very good application with relatively minor concerns. There is a specific concern entailing that glass enclosure. Having said that, staff is recommending approval with the 7 imposed conditions. So specific elaboration is as follows. Conditions 1 and 3 for reference on what is existing on the applicant's photographs. The existing railing material does appear to be some kind of aluminum. The window frames appear to be black in the photographs, but bronze is also architecturally appropriate for a mission revival residence. So the proposed glass to create that enclosure, it shall be clear along the south and west facades, and the fan light window, which has been depicted here, also shall remain. Fanlight windows rarely existed on their own. It is very possible that a door existed in that location. And also when observing the floor plans from our applicant, we didn't find much of a justification as to why that needed to be removed. And so staff is amenable to removing that condition upon evidence that that window opening is not historic. And then, let's see, the arched windows on the second story of the accessory structure shall be the same proportion as the proposed windows on the west elevation drawing. So this provides better visual reference. For condition number 6, the proportion of the windows when looking at the west facade appear to be a little bit off when comparing these 2 windows. And after doing the calculation for ratio between for height and width, we did confirm that their proportions are off. So we looked at the applicant's window and door schedule to confirm this. That's why we imposed that condition. And then finally, staff does have a specific concern about the southwest column depicted in that slide. Staff does not know whether it will remain exposed nor how it will be connected with the glass enclosure, whether it's through some kind of mullion. So that's why we are going to impose a condition to where that structural detail drawing is going to be a requirement upon applying for a building permit. So we'll also confirm what kind of material through that drawing as well. We have the Florida Master Site file photo from 1990, along with the property record card, which shows both the accessory and primary structure from 1962. We did receive a letter of support from John Whittles of 282 Granada Road. We have the applicable codes, which are the Secretary of Interior Standards for Rehabilitation and the additional criteria for new construction and alterations. With that, that concludes staff's presentation.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Questions for applicant or staff?
Very well done project.
I have a question for Kyle. Hey, Kyle. How are you?
Hi, Mr. Murphy.
First of all, let me tell you that the drawings are exceptional and the presentation was wonderful and very detailed. The only problem, the only concern I have is I'd like to hear a little bit more of your thought process in talking with your client about that large plate glass window on the second floor.
Absolutely.
Just seems peculiar.
So that existing balcony is on the master bedroom. It's a smaller balcony, quite a bit of rainwater is in there. That's proposed to be their home office when they're here in the wintertime. It looks out over the pool. It's beautiful. They would really appreciate it.
I get, this is something we can talk about in executive session, but would you, my gut reaction is that it could look like slightly more substantial, like a filled-in porch instead of plate glass applied behind metal railing. And there's plenty of examples in Spanish architecture where you have like wood railings that are like plastered in behind, and then you add stick-in windows where there was a balcony. That's my only thing. I'd like to make it look like it was a filled-in balcony rather than a fishbowl.
We could definitely do that.
Okay.
Sometimes there's a Secretary of Interior Standards which doesn't allow us to do that. It has to look as if it was never infilled. So we can do anything you want, honestly.
I'd definitely be more in supportive of something that looked more stylistically consistent with the house.
Absolutely, not a problem.
And then, can you show me the second floor plan?
Yes, absolutely. Thank you.
Yeah, you're right. My presentation.
So it's also it's not visible from the street. I don't know if that helps, but it's
No,
That's southwest corner.
That's the.
I can probably find it in the.
Everything else looks so good. I don't want it's sticking out like a sore thumb. I don't want.
Keep going. I think it's that's the accessory. Keep going.
Yeah.
I think go down a little bit, and there. There we are.
Oh, okay.
There we go. See, there's the
all
little
right.
desk and the.
Well, no, actually, I was more curious about the bedroom 3, which is in the front of the house. I just wanted to see what was going on that plan. I was thinking maybe that was the bed wall, but if the bed's going to be on the interior wall, I would just.
It's the existing layout, and what we've done is added.
Right.
Oops, my goodness. Here, let me do this. There we go. First. Second. Is there an enlarged? There we go. So all we've really done is we tried to just create an ensuite bathroom for bedroom 2, and then add the office for the primary. Those are really
Well,
the two.
I'm talking about bedroom 3 at the top.
Oh, okay.
And so I just wanted to see what that plan was, because on the east elevation, that window gets close to the corner, which it feels a little bit pinched, especially when you see something on like 3/4 view from the street. That I feel like that window looks like it's a little bit too tight for a masonry structure. I'd want to like squish those windows in together so you have a little bit more strength at the corner.
It's a wood framed
Well, no, I know, but it presents like a masonry house, like it's all the, so if it was a bed wall, I wanted to see if you had the bed on that wall, and I was like, I feel like my only thing is I'd like to squish those, I mean, I really want to move the one window, but I see if for symmetry of the room, you might want to just pinch them in a little bit, so at least proportionally, you have that corner kind of represented. And then if it was somewhere else and you have a couple tight conditions like that, I probably wouldn't care. But because that one's kind of right on that very exposed corner of the house, I feel like, and especially since the whole front of the house, the windows are very much got a lot of mass between them and the corners. That's just one I'd like to kind of push like 6 inches.
Yeah, that's not a problem at all. Thank you.
But yeah, no, other than that, I very well done. I mean, I think everything, especially with the carriage house, I think it's all a massive improvement.
Thank you.
Are you in agreement with all the staff conditions of approval?
Yes, sir. Just clarification on what the recommendation is for the porch, if it's
I think
it's
we can.
plate glass or if it's
I think
plasterwork.
I think we can come up with something.
Yeah,
when
we will get there. But all the other conditions are clear. When you are saying the proposed railing material shall match what is existing, is really what is existing, or is what was existing that was more appropriate for the house? That is what I didn't understand.
We're proposing the pattern to match what is existing, which was what was approved years ago.
Okay.
Just to make that sure that's ironwork. It's a quarter or half inch above where it should be with the masonry, so just having it a half inch lower, that was all.
Okay. Any other questions to staff? Other questions for staff? No?
Well, no, never, no, I don't have a question.
All right. Then, is there anyone in the public that wishes to speak on this case? Seeing none, we move to executive session.
Thank you so much.
So I guess that we want to add some conditions, Caleb, for the. Yeah, it's in page 115. Yeah.
So I guess it's really just 7.
Are you going right into a motion?
No, I'm just kind of poking holes in what we're trying to describe. I would just say it would be better if it was the balcony should be expressed as infilled wood frame and stucco construction consistent with Spanish and mission style architecture. I would with the insertion of actual framed and munted windows and not plate glass. Does that make sense?
Yeah, I don't know if the rest of the board agrees to that or everybody else prefers plated glass.
Well, plus if it's an office, I feel like if the railing is expressed as a railing but technically solid, I feel like that aids them, and then I feel like it further aids them, and I don't know what the plate glass issue is going to be with a rated product, but I'd almost like just stick window products in between the columns, make the railing solid below, or like look like it's infilled, and call it a day.
Okay.
Caleb, I have a question. What if the response from applicant says, this is a garden window, and I need as much light exposure as possible? How would you feel about that?
Well, if this is my client, I would say I'd rather have a room that looks like it's a thought about room and not like an afterthought. Sure. Like I kind of, it looks like a fishbowl. It doesn't, and I don't mean that technically. I know it's been done in a couple things, but I don't think it goes with the house. If they want the open look, I would encourage them not to, like, for example, like if this was my house and I wanted to I work outside all the time in a screened porch, just like have roll down screens and let it be open and clear. But I think it's got to be one or the other. Let it be open with, or even like isinglass windows, like that's with roll down screens, that's something that can be done. But if you want it to feel as open as possible, make it open. If you want it to be in a conditioned space, like I would push it in the other direction so that it doesn't look so incongruous with the entire house.
I think we ran into this last session with the, like Kyle was saying, the Secretary of Interior standards, that it's supposed to look like it's something completely different, which I agree with you, like I would prefer it to see it look the way it does, but is it a problem if we're doing the opposite of what the standard guides us to do?
Well, you need to be guided by the standards, so that should be.
I think that standard, I don't think that's implying anything fake, and especially since, like, you know, this isn't real Spanish architecture, this isn't real masonry, it's all a bit of a facade, like a lot of this architecture has been imported from the 20s, it's been completely made up for Florida. It's a style, and so I would say, in this case, it's about what's consistent with the style and not like a fake, it's not like we're doing like a fake gable in front of a flat roof.
Is there a consensus from the board that they would prefer that as a condition as we move closer to making a motion? Or is it not? I mean, we kind of need to know.
I'm not sure it needs to be so complex. I just don't think the plate glass is appropriate, and it should replicate the appearance of an infilled porch with an appropriately silled height wall and mutton pattern and window pattern to be approved by staff.
That sounds like a very good solution.
Yeah, that's kind of what I was getting at.
Okay, that's a great solution.
Yeah, great. What about the other, you had another condition for the windows to be, that window in bedroom 3. Do you want the windows move, or you want to make them
I would just say
narrower?
I would say move the window in bedroom 3 on the northeast corner 6 inches to the south. And then if they want to move the other window to match the room, that's up to them. But the only requirement is just move that window 6 inches to the south. Okay. So then I guess that would be condition 8.
Okay.
Okay, so those are 2 new conditions.
Yeah. One is number 7 enhanced.
Gotcha.
And then there is a number 8 now.
Okay.
So if somebody wants to make a motion.
What is the number? I move that Historic Preservation Board approve application number 25-70 for alterations and additions in accordance with standards 9 and 10 as set forth in section 94-49 of the city's zoning and land development regulations. The motion is based on the testimony presented along with the application submitted in the staff report, which constitute competent substantial events. In addition, the approval of this request is made conditional upon the following restrictions, stipulations, and/or standards that I move are necessary to ensure compliance with the purpose and intent of the Historic Preservation Ordinance, the historic preservation element of the comprehensive plan of the city of West Palm Beach, the Secretary of the Interior Standards for Rehabilitation, specifically standards 9 and 10, and additional compatibility criteria set forth in section 94-49 of the city's zoning and land development regulations, specifically 1 through 9, and then the conditions include the following: 1 through 6 in the staff report. 7 shall be amended. The porch on the southwest corner shall be appropriately enclosed with a solid sill of appropriate expression to the architecture with windows with muntins and mullions, And standards 8 and condition 8, the second story bedroom window on the northeast corner shall be moved south 6 inches.
All in favor? I'm sorry, you
Second.
have a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed?
Aye.
Okay. Motion carries. Project approved. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Appreciate your time.
Now we move on to case number 25-71 in 2301 Georgia Avenue.
Do we have an applicant here for this project? Oh. Would you like to present, or would you like me to go and then how? Okay, great. Thank you. Jordan Hodges, City Historic Preservation Planner for the record. Okay, so this project, 2301 Georgia Avenue, this is for the construction of a new detached accessory structure. The parcel is a corner lot with frontage on Georgia Avenue to the east and Ardmore to the north. This property was constructed in 1972 and is a non-contributing resource in the Flamingo Park District. Here you can see the front of that existing structure. It's very kind of 70s in character. It's kind of low, side gable roof. It originally had awning windows, and it's got kind of that stone veneer applique in a band across it. This is the kind of south portion of the lot where the accessory structure is currently proposed. It's screened by a 6 foot tall wood privacy wall and some dense vegetation. But this is fronting Georgia Avenue. Here you can see the proposed site plan. The accessory structure is located to the rear of the parcel, south of the existing pool. I'd like to point out that this is an accessory structure. This is not an independent dwelling unit. So this is just accessory living space to the primary. Yeah, as you can see, it's kind of pushed back into the corner of the lot, meeting all accessory structure setbacks. Here you can see the elevations and floor plans. For the elevations, this is a stucco-clad masonry building with a tiered gable roof. The roof line steps down at the street fronting elevation, which is here labeled as left. The front facing the existing residence utilizes 2 sets of sliding glass doors and kind of a shallow bump out in the center. The existing building utilizes sliding glass doors, and the applicants wish to carry that through on this structure. But the building uses dimensional asphalt shingles and a combination of hung and fixed glass windows with horizontally oriented panes to match what is on the primary structure. Here you can see the streetscape elevations with and without landscaping. Staff did have some concerns regarding the wall height and overall height of the structure, as well as kind of the more complex roof line. But here in the streetscape elevation, you see how it is depicted in height. The accessory structure is largely similar in height to the neighboring contributing garage structure to the south, although it is taller than the existing non-contributing building. You can also see, again here, where the addition, the divided light patterns reflects the fenestration of the primary structure. So this project did go through some kind of internal design review. On the left, you can see the application as it was initially submitted. On the right, this is its current phase today. Staff was concerned about the kind of overly complex roof line to the building, and the applicant did agree to remove that kind of middle gable over the bump out, instead replacing that with a just kind of a shed extension, which does simplify the roof line a little bit. And here you can see the side and rear elevations from September to October. So initially submitted, the building utilized these kind of long horizontal windows, which the applicant did explain was a desire of the property owner. But staff had some difficulties with those windows on the street fronting elevations, as you know, just windows in the district are predominantly 2-to-1 vertically oriented. And so that is what the applicant has switched to on that left elevation, which is fronting Georgia Avenue. And then the kind of windows on the rear that are closest to Georgia Avenue. So ones that could possibly be viewed if the fence and the hedging were to ever be removed. For site concerns, staff did identify one potential issue with the proposed location of the pool equipment and the condensing unit. This building does have a 12-foot the property has a 12-foot-5 rear setback for mechanical equipment, which utilizes the setbacks prescribed for the primary structure. Now, mechanical equipment can encroach up to 4 feet into that rear setback, so they would have a mechanical equipment setback of 8.5 feet from the rear. So we did apply a condition of approval to the application to relocate that mechanical equipment out of the rear setback. As far as the surrounding building analysis, primarily single-story contributing resources all around this building, but with similar exterior building materials. There's a lot of mission revival kind of in this immediate area. So lots of stucco, low roofs, hung windows, but there are a couple gable roofs, specifically one to the south over that attached garage structure. As far as the applicable code sections, staff did provide responses on sheets 7 through 8 of the staff report, but staff did find the proposal to be minimally compatible with the intent of the visual compatibility criteria and the Secretary of Interior standards for new construction. So staff is recommending approval of the application with again, that mechanical equipment setback condition is number 1, and our general window glazing, recess, and mutton conditions 2, 3, and 4. And that concludes staff's presentation. I can answer any questions and then hand it off to the applicant if you wish.
Thank you, Jordan. The applicant would like to present or to add to this presentation?
Yes, sir.
Can you please come and say your name, please?
I don't know if you heard me. You have 10 minutes. Okay. At the beginning, I announced that. I think you came in a little bit later.
If you'd like to switch through any of these, just use your directional keys.
I do have a couple other photographs if needed.
Do you have a flash drive?
I do. Yes, sir.
Okay. All right. So let me temporarily move the flash.
So another USB available?
So this is the USB that we have here. You could just insert it into the slot. All right, and let's see what is this
the revised revision for historic?
Sir, have you been sworn in, or you came after the meeting?
I'm sorry, I missed.
Okay, so maybe our secretary can
Right now.
sworn in.
So you'd have to get sworn in before you present. But
Can I do that here?
Yeah, right here. If you would just raise it. Yep. Do you swear or affirm that the testimony you're about to give is the whole truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
I do.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Now, if you can say your name on the mic, please.
This is Richard Davis. I'm the designer helping this homeowner in a much smaller project than we viewed on the last few cases, but still important nonetheless to them. I do have a couple other photos of, let's see, there is two-story homes just within a couple hundred feet. I know the other homes that were photographed
were mentioned as all single-story, but there is directly to the north, this is not opening. We can't open this file. Something went wrong. If the photos are not, they're PDFs, they should. If the photos don't come up, I just wanted to mention the building on Georgia to the north is a two-story with lap siding, kind of a craftsman style.
I do not know what's going on.
Okay. Well, there's, the other photographs were,
Not sure.
there was a two-story, okay, here we go. This is actually on Ardmore, just up the road. That's not the one I mentioned. That's more of a Spanish style. But that's a two-story within just a couple hundred feet. Is this one opening? Nope. That's a different two-story to the south. Let me go back to how did you get back to the list? Oh, in the file, I got you, okay.
Yeah.
Vacant across, agent. It must be this one. This is actually the next home to the north on Georgia Avenue, because directly across Ardmore on Georgia is a vacant lot with heavy landscape. So there is other two-story homes fairly close, within just a couple hundred feet. And lap siding, similar gable roofs. The addition is similar to the existing non-contributing structure with stucco gable roof line and so on. Similar in height to the home to the south. And we just wanted to let you know the owner is very willing to accommodate. As you saw, that we did go through a phase of revisions to please the historic before we even did the final submission. So that would really be all that I wanted to add to his presentation. I thank Jordan for that. He did a very good job.
Any questions for applicant or staff?
Let me remove.
The staff is recommending certain conditions for approval. Are you in agreement to those conditions?
We have reviewed the conditions and absolutely agree to all the conditions that they've mentioned.
Perfect, thank you. No more questions? Anybody would like to make a motion if there are no more questions? You have a question? No, for executive. Oh, that's right. So is there anybody on the public that would like to speak on this case? Seeing none, we move to executive session.
I could start on this one. I would not be in support of the sliding glass doors, which brings up a few different issues. Number one, if it goes to French doors, if you see the north section, or that be the north section, there's a 5-foot setback. We would not have enough clearance for a French door to go out through the pool. So it does bring up a potential redesign. So my concern being the sliding doors does present a full layout problem, and I would look for the board's guidance how to fix that.
Correct me if I'm wrong. My understanding was that this was, these, I agree, I don't like the sliders either, but it was in keeping with what was already previously approved. Like it's just more of what's already existing. Did I misunderstand it?
This has never been approved before.
I think that the existing structure has some sliding doors.
Right, that's what I was
So
understanding.
this is kind of on keeping with those sliding doors, and the existing structure is non-contributing, so
That's
really-
why it's, yeah.
Correct, that's why staff is not having an issue with approving sliding doors, but we may have an issue, I don't know.
Yeah, I do have a problem with that.
I think you could figure out a way for swinging doors,
Yeah.
if that's a condition we want to impose. So going back and forth between a few things. Yeah, like the bedroom, there's no reason that can be French doors. The family room, it looks like there's two functional leaves anyways, so you could probably do a pair of French doors with a single side light, which might be a little fussy, but maybe that's fine. My issue, I have a different issue is with the massing. I think the roof, I think the top of the wall, like where the eave starts, needs to align with the main house. So it's not, so that it doesn't really matter where the ridge ends up. I just think it matters that the eave isn't higher than the main house. So if the main house has got an, 8'4", whatever, top of wall above finished floor, I think that should match, which I think brings down the roof pitch. Not roof pitch, roof height. And then I kind of see what's going on with it's like the plan is very symmetrical, but then the elevation is not. It's like the roof mass doesn't talk to the plan. So like my gut reaction is to just bring that family room wall out even with the wet bar and not have that jog in the elevation, not have that arbitrary siding look applied. I think the whole thing should just be a single step in the entire facade where the guest room steps back, the public room step forward. Everything has it, like I'm okay with the differential eave heights for the guest room and the family room, but then we can have a consistent stucco facade all the way around and just keep it simple in keeping with the main house. Like it's trying to do a lot right now, and I think we need to tone it down a little bit more.
Yeah, I think that the reason they are doing this is because they want a higher ceiling height in the family room, and they don't mind having a lower ceiling in the guest bedroom.
Well, I'm okay with that differentiation. I just think at least, maybe at least, the very least, the guest bedroom eave should align with the main house eave because it looks,
I
higher.
think, and the main house has that like shed extension also. I don't mind the jog, but to simplify it, I would just maybe lower a little the family, raise a little the bedroom, and should just do
a
single roof
with a bump
with
out in
just
the
a
middle.
bump of shed in the middle. Yeah, and simplify it that way.
Yep.
I'm amenable to either, I would think.
And then the sliding door in the bedroom can change to a French door, and the other one can change to a French door with two sidelines, just two side lights on either side, and be done.
Yeah, that's simpler. What?
We will add
Yeah.
Yeah, add those conditions.
Question to the applicant, would you be okay with these conditions? I don't want to enforce it, but we may enforce it anyway, but.
Can I speak?
Yeah.
Thank you. You were correct. The owner was looking for more ceiling height in the family room, using it more like a cabana entertainment area off the pool. The shed extension was to duplicate the existing conditions of the primary residence. I felt that keeping the roof line lower at the guest bedroom maybe had less of a visible effect from Georgia, from the streetscape. There is the fence and the wall that the concern would be if that ever came down. It never will, because that's the privacy buffer for the pool. So it will continually be buffered. But as you increase the height to level the roof ridge, you'll have more exposure over the hedge, over the landscape.
Well, I think what I'm suggesting is that the top of wall be consistent with the main house. So even if the ridge aligns, I think the whole roof needs to come down. And
Well,
then, to a follow-up question to that, does the main house have, is it all flat ceilings in there?
The main house has 8-foot flat ceilings with
So-
6'8" lower
So
doors and
if
undesirable conditions.
If the owner wanted to achieve a taller roof, they could potentially hand frame the family room and have a vaulted ceiling in there. So if we had a consistent wall, if the property had consistent wall heights, and I mean where the rafters bear, consistent wall heights, and then the family room has a hand-framed ceiling or a vaulted ceiling, that's how you get a better ceiling height. And I don't think like, unless it's an actual two-story structure, I think it should not look taller than the main house.
The concern would be then mechanicals and a hand-framed with no attic space.
Well, you could
So
have
we're
a
trying to
flat-
utilize.
You could have a flat roof, you could have a flat ceiling above the interstitial spaces with a ducted mini split that blows into the walls. And so the supply is from above the wall heights of the room adjacent. But yeah, I mean, I guess that, yeah, I mean, that's an issue that you'll have to.
Yeah, I think that in order to simplify the structure, that was the staff main concern. You know, they tried to work with you, but I think that the main house, which again is not contributing, right, but it's a simple hip roof.
Extremely
So I don't,
simple.
but I personally, I don't see why we need to have a accessory structure that is more complex than the main structure, right? So I would like to just simplify it and be done.
I see the concern, but when you look at the setting, the streetscape, there's multiple roof lines of extreme roof pitch just to the south, and taller buildings to the north. So it fits, I felt, within the surroundings.
Okay. Well, thank you. We are
Thank
continuing
you.
an executive session.
I mean, I think.
Any other opinions?
I'm fine with the roof as proposed, but I do agree with Kyle for the French doors. I was going to add that.
Okay. So, somebody wants to make a motion?
I can do it.
I could. Don't take it with pressure. Under pressure.
I mean, we're changing to French doors, single roof ridge, and unless somebody feels.
If you agree, if you don't agree,
I
mean,
think-
if we
I
don't
think it's-
agree about the single.
I think it's it's simplifying the roof is nice and clean.
Okay.
I think that's important, but well, that's why.
Lowering one and raising the other
Yeah,
one.
and
half
I think a wall height, and then consistent, single ridge, wall height consistent with the main structure. Those three.
Okay. In addition to the already.
Yeah.
And we need to see if those are in conflict or not.
I don't think there is. Yeah, those
No.
are pretty, okay. I move that the Historic Preservation Board approve application number 25-71 for new construction in accordance with standards 9 and 10 as set forth in section 94-49 of the city's zoning and land development regulations. The motion is based on testimony presented along with the application submitted in the staff report, which constitute competent substantial evidence. In addition, the approval of this request is made conditional upon the following restrictions, stipulations, and/or safeguards that I move are necessary to ensure compliance with the purpose and intent of the Historic Preservation Ordinance, the historic preservation element of the comprehensive plan of the city of West Palm Beach, the Secretary of the Interior standards for rehabilitation, specifically standards 9 and 10, and the additional compatibility criteria set forth in section 94-49 of the city's zoning and land development regulations. The conditions include the following: the 5 conditions memorialized in the staff report. Well, there's 4?
5.
There's 5.
No, there's 4 in the.
Mechanical, am I looking at the wrong? There's only 4?
The line, not
Oh, there is a.
Oh.
Yeah. There are 4. Yeah.
Okay, 4 memorialized in the staff report, and then in addition, 5, the sliding glass doors should be replaced with French doors and/or French doors with side lights. So that's condition number 5. Condition number 6, the roof ridge should be consistent across the single roof ridge. And condition number 7 is the wall height of the new structure should not exceed the wall height of the existing structure.
Do we have a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Anyone oppose? No. Motion carries. Thank you very much. Now, we have another business issue here. We need to vote to combine the November and December meetings to be held on Tuesday, December 9th at 4:30. There are going to be a lot of cases that day because we don't have quorum for the November meeting.
That's not commission day, is it?
No, it was vacant. That day was available. Yep.
So,
Is it possible, since we're going to have such a huge agenda, to move it earlier than 4:30?
I mean, we can move it to 4 o'clock, just this one.
Yeah, just this
because
one.
it's one big one.
Did you already advertise it?
No.
So can we move it to 4 o'clock instead of 4:30?
Anna, is that something? Okay, yeah, fine with me.
Just for this one. I can't, but
No, I know. I was just
will
thinking
make an
just for
effort.
this one.
Yes, just for this one. All right, so can I have a motion?
Yep. I motion to cancel the previously scheduled November and December meetings and move to have a combination meeting, the next Historic Preservation Board meeting to be held Tuesday, December 9th, 2025 at 4 p.m. in the council chambers.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Motion carries.
Excellent.
Can I have a motion to adjourn?
Happy Halloween. Happy Thanksgiving.
Happy Halloween, happy Thanksgiving to everyone.
Ditto.
Motion to adjourn.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you, staff.
Thank you.
Thank you very
Meeting
much.
adjourned.
Congratulations.